Welcome back. Today we're going to be playing Marvel Champions and we are going to be trying out Psylocke versus Rhino. All right, so Rhino scheme is we're just playing on normal mode. The break in Rhino is attacking a shield facility. And he gets 7 threat, we lose. The main scheme, he's trying to smash through the facility wall and steal a shipment of vibranium. You must stop him. We have to beat his 2 stages, stage 1 and stage 2. Stage 1, he's got 1 scheme to attack. He's going to have 14 life. Rhino, I knock things down. That's what I do. That's who I am. All right. So we will put this apart and then we put this into the villain area. And we are going to be playing with Betsy Braddock, also known as Psylocke. He's got recovery of 3, mutant, psionic. He's got psionic manifestation. The ring setup, put your 2 psi energy upgrades into play. Psi knife side face up. And this is her psi energy card. It's got psi knife on one side. It's permanent. Gives her +1 thwart. She can exhaust it to get a science resource. She has 2 cards like this. And the other side is her psi katana, permanent restricted. Gets a +1 attack, and her basic attacks gain piercing. We can exhaust a psi katana to generate a fist resource, and then we can flip this card. All right. She also has her alter ego action. Exhaust 1 psi energy upgrade. Shuffle 1 psionic card from your discard pile into your deck. So that lets her get some cards back. Then her hero side, 1 thwart, 1 attack, 2 defense. She's got psi energy control. When she uses one of her basic powers, we have to flip one of her psi energy upgrades. My mind is sharper than any blade. Okay. Right. And she has 10 life. I have not played with her before, so we'll just see how this goes. We're playing solo. Her default deck is Justice. Let's see. I think I need to move this up a little bit. A lot of stuff in her lane. We'll see if we have room to fit everything here. All right. Her hand size is 6, 10 life. And we'll go ahead and get started. For those that don't know, there's 2 phases. So player phase, you take turns in player order, play cards, trigger and request actions. You can use your basic attacks, so attack, thwart, or recover. Change your form. We can do that once per round. We always start on alter ego. And then end your turn. If there were other players, it would go around. It's just us. After everybody's finished their turn, discard any number of cards we don't want. Drop to the hand size and ready all of our cards. And then after that, we would go to the villain phase, and we'll talk about that once we start the villain phase. All right, so let's get started. We will draw our 6 cards and see if we want to mulligan anything. We've got Directed Force, an event when your hero makes an attack that has a keyword, overkill, piercing, or range. That attack deals 2 additional damage. Okay. Concussive Blow, attack, confuse an enemy. You paid for it using a fist resource. I feel like fist, is that called might? I'm not sure what the real name is. Science energy. We'll just call it might. I don't have the book out right now. Then we've got telepathic suggestion. When you reveal a card from the encounter deck, cancel its when revealed effect. For each psi katana you control, choose an enemy and deal 2 damage to it. For each psi knife you control, choose a scheme and remove 1 threat from it. Okay, so that helps us during when the villain goes. Training regimen, support. Exhaust training regimen, search your deck for a skill card and add it to your hand. Shuffle if you are in hero form. Discard 1 card from your hand. Okay, so training, we kind of want to do this in alter ego. We're in hero form, we have to discard a card. And then we got Fury of Blades. Attack, psionic, deal 2 damage to an enemy for each psi knife you control. Choose an enemy and confuse it. For each Psychotana you control, choose an enemy and deal 2 damage to it. Okay. So we can deal 2 damage to an enemy and then we can confuse it. Or if we have Psychotanas, we can do an additional 2 damage. And we got a second Fury of Blades. Not sure if I like all of those coming out right now, but that's what we'll do. All right, so we don't need to thwart. We don't have anything on this side that we need to do. We don't need to exhaust the Psi Energy upgrade to shuffle a Psionic card. So there's nothing there. So we'll just switch to our hero form. And then let's see, how do we want to attack? We use one of Psylocke's basic powers. Flip one Psi Energy upgrade. So right now, it is on Psi Knife side. So we could actually, we probably could have did this training regimen first. So let's flip back over. Again, this is our first time using her. We're going to exhaust the Psi Knife for 1 science resource. And we will equip training regimen. That's going to let us search your deck for a skill card and add it to your hand. And shuffle. Search our deck for a skill card. And I'm mainly looking to see if she has a card for her. She does. She has martial arts training. That lets her defend. I don't see any other skill card. She has float like a butterfly. Not bad. Heat wisdom. Captain Britain. And psionic training is a skill. That's going to let her confuse somebody. That gets +1 defense. Yeah, let's go ahead and we're going to take martial arts training upgrade skill to her hand. That will let her ready. Can only do it once, but that's okay. All right, so now we can decide, do we want to play this now? Do I have any fifth resources? I don't. Yep, so let's spend 1. Yeah, we're going to take directed force and we'll put martial arts training into play. That gives her +1 defense. After she defends against an attack, discard martial arts training and ready Psylocke. All right, and then what do we want to do? Do we want to do concussive blow? That's a science resource. Or Fury of Blades. I think we're going to exhaust the Psi Knife for a science resource. We'll spend these 2, so that's 3 resources. We'll flip back over to the hero side. That's 3 resources. We'll play Fury of Blades. We can take a closer look at that. Attack, deal 2 damage to an enemy. So we're going to take Rhino from 14 down to 12. For each Psi Knife you control, choose an enemy and confuse it. And then Rhino will be confused. For each Psychotana you control, choose an enemy and deal 2 damage to it. We don't have any Psychotanas, but I probably should have done this in a separate order. So let me attack him first. If I attack him first, then I can't spend the. Does this side have a resource? It does. So I'll attack him first for 1. And then I have to flip a Psy Energy card over. So now he's got 1 Psy Katana, 1 Psy Energy. Psylocke gets +1 attack and her basic attacks gain piercing. So right now she's just attacking for 1. So that'll take him down to 11. And then we'll say, then we played this card. We did 2 damage and we had 1 katana. So we'll do 2 more damage. So he'll go down to 9 life. And then I think after all that, that will wrap up her turn. Yep, and we exhausted training regimen to get this martial arts training out. All right, so then we will draw up to our hand size, which is, oh, her hand size is only 4. Okay, but she has 2 resource generators. So she's gonna get mental detection, thwarting, another concussive blow, and psionic training. And then we will refresh these. All right, and then we will go to the enemies phase. All right, so Rhino. Oh, first let's just review the villain phase. Place threat on the main scheme is the first thing we do. The villain and each minion engaged with the hero activates. If you're in hero form, they attack. If you're in alter ego form, they scheme. Then everybody gets an encounter card. They resolve it. And then if we had other players, we would pass the first player token. That is the villain phase. So we are now officially starting our villain phase. Place threat on the main scheme. That's 1. Then we go back to Rhino. Rhino's confused. He has an attack for 2, so I can decide if I want to defend or take it. She is going to defend. So she's defending for 3. Rhino attacks for 2. We look at the pip at the bottom of this card. So 2 plus whatever there. So there's 1 pip. That's 3 damage to Psylocke. She blocks the 3 damage. Then we're going to discard her martial arts training and she's going to ready up again. And then we'll draw her encounter card. And her encounter card is the Sandman. Man, I hate it when I pull the Sandman. So he's got 4 life and a tough. He's going to go to the lane. That's a rough first draw. Then it is back to Psylocke's turn. So Psylocke gets +1 attacks and her attacks gain piercing. Mental detection, remove 1 threat from a scheme. For each sign off you control, remove 2 additional threat. That's not what we need. Confuse an enemy. If you paid for this card using a fist resource, deal 3 damage to that enemy. Yikes. All right, so I think we have to attack for 2. So she's going to hit for 1 with her Psy Katana. That's +1 attack. 2 damage on Sandman is piercing, so it's going to go through that. So he's going to take 2 damage. And then we can flip. After we do an attack, we have to flip one of her Psy Energy upgrades. So we'll flip this Psy Knife. So now she's got 2 Psy Katanas out. And then we want to do 2 more damage somehow. So we could do Fury of Blades for 3. Deal 2 damage to an enemy. For each side knife you control, choose an enemy and confuse it. For each side katana you control, choose an enemy and deal 2 damage to it. So this would do 6 damage to Rhino. So let's see. Let's see. What do we want to do? Concussive blow, confuse an enemy. I don't need to do that. So we're going to exhaust Psy Katana to generate a fist. Exhaust this to generate a fist. So that's 2. And we'll spend this card for a resource for 3. And we'll do Fury of Blades. We'll deal 2 damage to an enemy. 2 more to Sandman. We'll get him out of there with the Psykatanas. Then we control 2 more Psykatanas. So that's 4 damage. We'll put that 4 damage on Rhino, so he'll go from 9 down to 5. Exhaust training regimen. Search your deck for a skill card and add it to your hand. If you're in hero form, discard 1 card from your hand. We don't want to do that. We are going to flip to Betsy Braddock. On my side, energy upgrades are already exhausted, so we can't do anything on that side. But we can do training regimen, search your deck for a skill card, and add it to our hand, and then shuffle. Let's see if there's any good skill cards. We got Directed Force, Cipher, Angel, Psionic Redirect, Weapons Training. Weapons Training is good. We'll add that to our hand. That lets Psylocke gain Retaliate 1. After Psylocke attacks, discard Weapon Training and ready each weapon upgrade you control. So we have added that to her hand. And I think it's tempting to play this now, but we are not. So we exhausted this to pull this card using her training regimen. And that's the end of her turn. She has hand size of 6 on this side, so we'll draw 3 more cards. Captain Britain, Telepathic Suggestion, and Float Like a Butterfly. And then we will refresh. So 2 Psykatanas. Right, then we will go to the villain phase. Right, so Rhino is going to put 1 threat on the scheme. And then we are on Alter Ego, so he's going to scheme, but he's confused, so nothing happens. Then we get an encounter card. Our encounter card is going to be Armored Rhino Suit. Attached to Rhino. When any amount of damage will be dealt to Rhino, place it here instead. Then if there is at least 5 damage here, discard the Armored Rhino Suit. So we have to do 5 more damage to him. Like that at all. Right, now we are back to Psylocke. So we could do Training Regimen. Get another skill card. I think we will do that. 5 damage. So she's got +1 attack. She's going to do 3 damage. Captain Britain. Weapons training could be good. Can I get Captain Britain out? When a character you control attacks a confused enemy. Okay, so Float Like a Butterfly could be good. Concussive Blow confuses. Okay. All right, let's see. How do we want to do this? So we're going to do Training Regimen. We're going to get a skill card out. Probably something that we're just going to use for a resource. We'll take another Float Like a Butterfly. Then let's go ahead and it feels like we want to put weapons training into play for 2. I could exhaust this for 2, spend 1 for 3 resources, play Concussive Blow, confuse an enemy. If you pay for this card using a fist resource, deal 3 damage to that enemy. 3 damage here, confuse him, then flip. All right, let's go ahead and do 3 damage. I only need 2 damage, but I don't have anything that just does 2 damage. Exhaust the side energy upgrade, shuffle 1 psionic card. So I could get psionic blades back if I exhaust one of these, or Furia blades back. But I don't think we want to do that. Yep, I think we want to flip. We're gonna spend 2 resources to put weapons training into play. And we're gonna flip. And we are going to attack for 3. So 1, 2, 3. When you use one of Psylocke, we have to flip one of the energy upgrades. So we'll attack for 3. That's going to put 3 damage onto the armored Rhino suit. We have to flip one of these Psy Katanas to give us +1 thwart. All right. Then I did that in the wrong order. So I should have, I exhausted these 2 resources to pay for weapons training. Then I attack, which would let me refresh these 2 resources. And then I have to discard this card, because these are weapon upgrades. And I already flipped my Psy Katana and Psy Knife. So now I have 3 again. So I think we are going to do Concussive Blow. And I wish I could get rid of this, but I can't. So we're going to spend 1, 2, 3. No, we can spend these to do it. We can spend 1, 2, 3 to play Concussive Blow. And 1, 2, 3. I almost have enough to play Captain Britain. So now we'll exhaust these 2, a Fist and a Science resource for 2, Mental Detection for 3. We'll do 3 damage with Concussive Blow and Confuse. So 3 will get rid of the armored Rhino suit. And then Rhino will be confused again. And then we've got Captain Britain, Telepathic Suggestion, Float Like a Butterfly. And I think we have to, our hand size is only 4, so we won't draw any more cards. I can either keep this due to, I think we'll keep these cards. My goal would be to try to get Captain Britain out 2 turns, beat Rhino next turn. Okay, let's see what else I could try. I think that's all I can try for now. Just, do I want to do that 1 extra damage with this Float Like a Butterfly? You reveal a card from the encounter deck, cancel its when revealed effect. For each Psy Katana you control, I think I want to keep this Telepathic Suggestion for the encounter. Okay, so we'll keep these 4 cards, even though I don't necessarily like these 2. But Captain Britain can clear Break It and Take Him by himself, so I want to keep him for that when we get Rhino down. So we will, our hand size is only 4, nothing to draw. We'll refresh. We got a Psy Katana, our Psy Knife, our Training Regimen, these 4 cards, so there's nothing to draw up to. And we will go to the villain phase. So Rhino's going to add 1 to the main scheme. He's at 3. He gets to 7. We lose. And then he is going to attack us. Do we want to defend or take it? So he's going to hit for 2. We got 10 life still. I think we'll take it. We haven't taken a shot yet. So 2 plus 1. So we take 3 damage. It takes Psylocke down to 7 life. And then we will draw the encounter card. It is Stampede. When revealed, hero Rhino attacks you. Character is damaged by this attack. This character is stunned. Well, we don't like that. So we're going to spend 2 resource and we're going to play Telepathic Suggestion. Hero Interrupt. When you reveal a card from the encounter deck, which we just did, cancel its when revealed effect. So that'll be canceled. For each Psychotana you control, choose an enemy and deal 2 damage to it. We have 1 Psychotana. Rhino will take 2 damage, 5, 4, 3. For each side knife you control, choose a scheme and remove 1 threat from it. And we'll take 1 threat off the main scheme. Take that from 3 back down to 2. Right. Good job, Psylocke. That's gone. Stampede's gone, and then it's our turn. Now the only problem is we don't have much here to deal with, so can't do anything with Captain Britain. Let's see if we can. Got 3 life. We can thwart for 2. Or we can attack. I think we'll just thwart for 2 and clear it. Yep. Let's thwart for 2. Because we got +1 to our attack, +1 to our thwart. That'll clear off the break-in. We'll flip to Betsy Braddock's side. We can exhaust 1 Psi Energy upgrade to shuffle 1 psionic card from our discard pile back to our deck. We will do that. Do we want to take Telepathic Suggestion? That was pretty good, actually. I think we'll do Fury of Blades. I feel like we need more damage. So we'll shuffle Fury of Blades back into our deck. And then Training Regimen, we could get a skill card and add it to your hand, but that's not really going to help us right now. All right, that'll be our turn. We will draw up to our hand size, so we'll get 6. We got Upside the Head. After your hero makes a basic attack and damages an enemy, confuse that enemy. That enemy is already confused, stunned. That's pretty good. Flurry of Blades. Okay, good to see that back. Telepathy. Play only if your Denny has the psionic trait. Hero action thwart. Exhaust telepathy and spend 2 science resources to remove 2 threat from a scheme. We got the power of the mind. Double the number of resources for a psionic card. Okay, that's good. And lastly, we've got the iPack vehicle. Exhaust iPack and deal 1 face down encounter card to a player. That player draws 2 cards. Okay, that's tricky. So you can get some cards, but you also will get an encounter. So we thwarted, so we have to flip a Psi Energy upgrade last turn. So I have to flip something. I think we'll flip the Psi Knife back to the Psi Katana. And that was, I should have did that after I thwarted last turn. So I have to remember that. All right, then we're back to the villain's phase. Rhino is going to put 1 threat on here. And then Rhino is going to scheme, but he's confused, so nothing happens. And then he is going to draw an encounter card. It is Gang Up. We're on the alter ego side, so a card is going to gain Surge. Instead, we get the Villain Schemes. All right, so Rhino is going to scheme for 1+1, so he schemes for 2. There's 3 on here. 3 on the main scheme. Then it is our turn. So what do we want to do? We probably want to do training regimen and get a skill card. Upside the head is pretty good. We need to do 3 damage, and we would also like to play Captain Britain probably. So let's do training regimen, get a skill card. We will take another upside the head and shuffle. So we got +1 attack, so we're attacking for 3 right now if we flip. And I don't have that card that lets us get the other thing back. So let's do that. Betsy Braddock, let's flip to Psylocke. We're going to attack for 1, +1, +1. So we're going to attack for 3. That's going to take Rhino down to 0. We have to flip one of these cards over since we attacked from Psykatana to Side Knife. Rhino goes down to 0 life, and that will let him go to stage 2. We'll take a look at his stage 2 card. All right, so stage 2, he gets a little bit stronger. He's still scheming for 1, attacking for 3 though, which is tough. Then we have to search the encounter deck and discard pile for the break-in and take in side scheme and reveal it. Shuffle the encounter deck. Let's see, have we already pulled break-in and take in? We have not. Let me see if I can find the break-in and take in side scheme. And then Rhino is going to have 15 life. Right, breaking and taking. Rhino is breaking things and taking them. So this is going to have 3 threat on it, and we are going to get an extra encounter while it is in play. We'll go ahead and get that into the villains area. All right, so that's going to have 3 threat. Potentially an extra encounter. Rhino stage 2. We have to beat stage 2 to be victorious. And he is going to have 15 life. All right. So Psylocke just attacked. Breaking and taking is out, so I want Captain Britain to come out. So I can exhaust these 2 resources to give me 2, 3, 4. I think that's what we want to do. Yep, we'll do that. So 1, 2. We'll exhaust this for 2 more resources. That's 3, 4. And Captain Britain will come out. And Captain Britain is going to thwart for 3. He takes -1 consequential damage after he thwarts a side scheme or attacks a minion. So instead of taking 2 consequential, he'll take 1. 3 is enough to clear breaking and taken. Don't have to worry about that. Then we are back to Psylocke, and we're going to use the power of mind and upside the head to do Fury of Blades. Deal 2 damage to an enemy. So Rhino will go from 15 down to 13. For each side knife you control, choose an enemy and confuse it. We've got 1 side knife. Rhino will be confused. And for each katana you control, choose an enemy and deal 2 damage. So we got 1 katana, so he'll go down to 11 life. And then that is gone. And it looks like that's all we can do. So we will draw her 4 cards and refresh. Another upside the head, mental detection, and lay the trap, player side scheme. When defeated, the player who defeated this scheme deals 5 damage to the villain per player. So that could come in handy. We can thwart that. All right, then we'll refresh Psylocke, aka Betsy Braddock. We'll see if we can stop Rhino from stealing the vibranium. All right, so his threat is getting a little bit up there. That's concerning. So it is 4 right now. Then he is going to attack us for 3. He's got 11 life. 3, 2, that's 5 damage. Not enough. I think we're going to have Captain Britain defend. I don't have anything else that's going to stop the defense. Yep, so Captain Britain will defend. Rhino's going to hit for 3 plus 3 damage. That's just enough to get rid of Captain Britain. And then he will draw his encounter card. It is going to be False Alarm. When revealed, you are confused. You're already confused. This card gains Surge. Nothing to see here, people. So unfortunately, we are confused. That is going to prevent us from thwarting. Or at least the first time we try to thwart, that's going to be a problem. And we actually need to thwart. So I think what we are going to do is we are going to do a basic thwart. Get rid of the confuse. Then we are going to do, we're going to spend these 2 resources. Play Mental Detection. Remove 1 threat from a scheme. For each side knife you control, remove 2 additional threat. So we control 1 side knife and 1 side katana. So we'll take 3 threat off the main scheme. Now it has 1 on it. For each side katana you control, draw 1 card. We'll draw a card for our side katana. And we got the Power of the Mind. We can't do upside the head. We could exhaust Training Regimen for a skill card and add it to our hand. I don't know if I have any skill card that's going to be worth adding. We could do Lay the Trap. We could play that for 1. And that will put, maybe we can do 5 damage if we clear 3 thwart. I think let's do that. So we'll spend 1 resource. We'll play Lay the Trap. We'll put this in the villains area. This is a player side scheme. So if we clear the 3 threat off of this, we'll do 5 damage to Rhino. And then we'll flip the Betsy Braddock side. And all of these are already exhausted. Training Regimen. Let's see, exhaust to draw skill card. We're just going to see it. Are there any skill cards that we think could be effective? I don't have any. I have Directed Force. I don't think that's going to help us. Aerial skill. The attack deals 2 additional damage. Do these have +1 thwart? Psykatana. Or Psykatana has piercing. So I will take Directed Force. But then I would have to, no, I don't have to discard because I'm on this side. Right, and shuffle. All right, then we will draw 3 cards to fill up her hand. Hand size of 6. Psionic Redirect. Concussive Blow, and Mental Detection. And then we will refresh Psylocke. And we will go to the villain. So first he adds 1 threat to the scheme. Then Rhino is going to scheme for 1, but he's confused, so nothing happens. Then he's going to draw his encounter card. We get Crowd Control side scheme. Panic civilians crowd the area. It's difficult to confront Rhino without putting them at risk. Get the people to safety. So we can't take anything off the main scheme until this is cleared, and it's going to have 2 thread on it. That's the problem. Panic civilians are in the streets. Rhino's got 11 life. I have to see what we can do. So psionic redirect. Back to our hero phase. We're on the alter ego side. So if we make an attack with the katana, oh, when I wonder if when I thwarted with this and I didn't do anything, do I have to flip a card over? I'm not sure. I'm gonna say no for now because no action happens, but I don't know. Let me know in the comments if I should have flipped one of these when she was confused. But we'll keep going. So right now, if I flip, I can attack for 2 and throw this card because her katana has piercing. So that will hit him for 4. That'll take him down to 7 life. Then I can play this to hit him for 3. 4 life. Mental detection. I could clear some of that off. And then upside the head, I don't need psionic redirect. Oh, I see what I should do. I should do concussive blow and then upside the head. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. All right, so we are going to, we need 3 resources to play this. So I guess I'm going to get rid of this psionic redirect. So we are going to flip. Do I want to exhaust one side energy upgrade to shuffle? I don't. Nope, I don't. So we're going to flip. We are going to exhaust these 2 cards, a science and a fist resource or might resource. That's 1, 2. We'll get rid of this to play concussive blow. Confuse an enemy if you pay for this card with a might resource or fist resource, deal 3 damage to that enemy. So we did. So he's going to go down from 11 to 8. And then Rhino is going to be confused. Our concussive blow goes away. Then Betsy Braddock is going to attack for 1 for 2 damage with her side knife and side katana. He's going to attack for 2. Do I want to throw this card? That'll make it 4. I don't want to throw it because I can't beat him with 4. Yep, so she's going to hit him for 2. That's going to take him down to 6. We're going to throw away directed force and do upside the head. After your hero makes a basic attack and damages an enemy, confuse the enemy. If that enemy is already confused, stun it instead. So Rhino is stunned and confused by Psylocke. And then lastly, we're going to use the power of the mind. Okay, so when I attacked, I have to flip one of these cards. So I'm going to flip her side katana to a side knife. So now she has 2 side knives. And then we're going to spend the power of the mind, which is double the cost. So this will be 2 to play mental detection because it's a psionic card. Remove 1 threat from a scheme. For each side knife you control, remove a 2 additional threat from that scheme. Oh, it has to be from the same scheme. Shoot. So that means I could get rid of crowd control. I think that's what we'll do. So we'll get rid of crowd control. So remove 1 threat. So this would go down to 2. And then we got 2 side knives, so we could take 4 more threat off. So we'll clear this and lay the trap. This is going to do 5 damage to Rhino. Rhino will go down to 1 life. And then we should be able to take him out next turn. Yeah, that actually means if I had, no, I couldn't have. Even if I hit him before, I wouldn't have been able to play the other card. Okay, so we will draw Psylocke's 4 card. Refresh. She's got Angel, Power of the Mind, Heat, Wisdom, and Psionic Redirect. Okay, and then we will refresh her cards. She hits for 1. And we will go to the villain phase. Villain phase. Put 1 threat on the main scheme, so now that is up to 3. And then we go to Rhino. Rhino attacks, but he's stunned, so nothing happens. The stun will go away. Rhino will draw his encounter card. It's a Hydra Bomber. Choose to either take 2 damage or place 1 threat on the main scheme. We will go ahead and place 1 threat on the main scheme. Hydra Bomber will go to the lane. Then it's our turn. And she will hit Rhino for 1, down to 0 life, and we have stopped the Vibranium break-in. Right, that is going to conclude our playthrough of Marvel Champions Psylocke Justice versus a normal Rhino. If you enjoyed the comment, feel free to like and comment below. As always, have a great day, and thanks for watching.